Good morning, everyone.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Today we start with module 3. So we'll see what and all topics are there in the syllabus. Uh, in the earlier module, we had introduction about LTI system and we have done the process of convolution. So using linearity property and superposition property, we have done the convolution for the LTI system. So now we are going to discuss the LTI system properties in terms of impulse response. So in the second module, we discussed just the system properties. So it is not a LTI system property. In second module, we have not discussed LTI system properties. In general, we have discussed the system properties. So system properties, we can take linear, non-linear, time invariant, variant, causal, non-causal, static, dynamic, stable, unstable, invertible. But in this module, I am going to discuss the system properties for LTI system. LTI, what is LTI? Linear time invariant system. So we are going to discuss the properties for linear time invariant system. I am going to discuss the properties of linear time invariant system using impulse response. Using impulse response. So now in that we have topics called system interconnection, memoryless, causal, stable, invertible, deconvolution, and step response. So these are the properties we will be discussing under module 3. So these are the properties of LTI system. So along with that, you have Fourier representation of periodic signals. So we are going to discuss the properties of the periodic signal, which is called as continuous time Fourier series property. Continuous time Fourier series property. And after discussing all these things, we will be solving the problems. So you have much theory in this module. So along with the theory, you'll be solving a few problems in this module. So if you study the properties, the properties are like a theory part, and even the Fourier representation of periodic signal, CTFS properties, these are also like a theory part. So if you are thorough with this theory part, you can easily attend the questions in this module. And some problems based on these properties, we will be solving it. So this is the introduction about module 3. So now we will move on to the first topic. So if you see in the screen, the first topic in module 3 is system interconnection. System interconnection. So this we are going to discuss in detail. So you can just see the screen, and in the rough notebook you can solve the equations. Later you can properly write in your notes. So you keep rough notebook with you. So you have some equations to be solved in this topic. So the first topic is system interconnection, as I said earlier. So in the system interconnection, we have two types of interconnection. One is parallel connection, other one is series connection. So parallel connection is easier compared to the series connection. So I am going to discuss the parallel connection of LTI systems. So I'm going to discuss everything in terms of impulse response. That is the specialty of this module. Everything we will be discussing in terms of impulse response. So as I said, I am discussing the system interconnection. So this is the system interconnection. Uh, I have two systems here. See, if you see the top part, I have x of t convolution with h1 of t. I will get one output called y1 of t in the top part. Similarly, I have the bottom part. The bottom part again, x of t convolution with h2 of t. I will get the output y2 of t. So now, if you add these y1 and y2, you will be getting the total output y of t. So system interconnection means here I am connecting two systems. So one in the upper part which has the impulse response h1 of t, and another one in the lower part which has the impulse response h2 of t. So x of t is common for both the systems. So when we perform the convolution of x1 of t with h1 of t, I will get the y1 of t output. Similarly, if I perform the convolution of x of t with h2 of t, I will be getting the output y2 of t. So as per the diagram, you are studying in control systems, the block diagram representation. So here we have a summer. So to this summer, we are adding these two signals so that I will be getting the output y of t. So if you see here, I have H1 and H2, both are connected in parallel. So now, if the connection is in parallel, how we compress the diagram? Compressing is nothing but how we will represent in simplest way. Or I can say how to represent the equivalent diagram of this complete setup. So equivalent diagram is, you can see in the screen, x of t is the input. I am giving to the system which has the sum of impulse responses h1 of t and h2 of t. So if I pass the signal x of t to this system having the impulse response, which is sum of two impulse responses, my output will be y of t. So what you are learning from this topic is, if the impulse responses are in parallel, then how do we represent in simple way? So we have to add the two impulse responses. So that's why I said it is very easy. So parallel connection means we will be just adding the two impulse responses such that I can easily get the output y of t for the input x of t with the help of the sum of the two impulse responses. So after discussing this, we have to write this in terms of equations. So if you see the screen, I have already told as per the diagram, my y of t is nothing but sum of two outputs. So I have shown you in the diagram. So top part I will get y1 of t as the output, bottom part I will get the y2 of t as the output. And you know very well how you will get y1 of t from the diagram. So y1 of t from the diagram is, if you see the diagram, it is nothing but convolution of x of t with h1 of t. So you can see in the screen. So I have to convolute x of t with h1 of t such that I will get the output y1 of t. Similarly, if I perform the convolution of x of t with h2 of t, I will be getting the output y2 of t. And your y of t is nothing but sum of these two. So I am just forming the equation in this order. That means from right hand side to the left hand side. So I have written the equation of y of t as y1 of t plus y2 of t. In turn, I have written what is y1 of t in the equation. It is nothing but x of t convolution with h1 of t. So in this way, I am just writing the equation as per this diagram. So I'm going from right hand side towards the left hand side. So keeping that in mind, I want you to just see this equation. So this equation has y of t is equal to y1 of t plus y2 of t, and y1 of t can be written as x of t convolution with h1 of t. Similarly, your y2 of t can be written as x of t convolution with h2 of t. So now, since I am discussing for the continuous time signal, you know why I am telling it is continuous time signal, because my index is t. Since I am writing with respect to the continuous time signal, I know the formula of convolution for the continuous time signal. So in the next equation, what I can do is I can replace this convolution symbol with the formula. I know the formula. It is integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau h of h1 here, h1 of t minus tau into d tau. So the same thing I'm going to do it. So before showing the screen, I'm just doing it here. Similarly, for the next term, I can write using the formula integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau x of tau into h2 of t minus tau. h2 of t minus tau. So the same work I have done in my notes. So let me just scroll the screen. So we are applying the formula of the convolution, that's it. Okay. So I'll just move the screen. So you can see in the screen the same work I have done here. So after substituting the formula for each term here, I know few terms are common. Okay. So what are all those terms? I can say integral is common in both the terms, and x of tau is common in both the terms. Similarly, d tau is common in both the terms. So leaving those terms within the bracket, I can write h1 of t minus tau plus, here we have a plus sign, and h2 of t minus tau. So finally, I can say my y of t is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau within the bracket sum of two impulse responses h1 of t minus tau plus h2 of t minus tau into d tau. So now I know if the system is connected in parallel, I know sum of impulse responses is nothing but the total impulse response. So this two h1 and h2 value I can put together as h of t minus tau. So finally my equation is y of t is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau h of t minus tau d tau, which in turn I can write it as x of t convolution with h of t. So what is important here is I have proved the sum of two impulse responses is equal to h of t. So sum of impulse responses h1 of t plus h2 of t is equal to the total impulse response. So don't think that the theory part and this type of questions will not be asked in the exam. So you are having equal chances of getting even this question also along with the problems, and it is a simplest topic. Easily you can do the equations. So now I have to conclude it. So how to conclude here? The impulse response of the overall system. So this h of t is the impulse response of the overall system. So impulse response of the overall system represented by two LTI system. So I know I am considering the LTI system. So the total impulse response of two LTI system connected in parallel is nothing but sum of the individual impulse responses. So sum of the individual impulse responses. That is the conclusion we are giving under parallel connection. So I repeat again. So the impulse response of the overall system is nothing but the total impulse response of the two LTI system connected in parallel is nothing but the sum of the individual impulse responses. So this statement without fail you have to write. So now, if the systems are connected in parallel, then it obeys some property. In mathematics, in lower semesters, you might have come across the different types of properties. So commutative property, associative property, and distributive property. So now, when the two systems are connected in parallel, it obeys distributive property. So you know what is distributive property? Uh, can anybody tell me what is distributive property in terms of the variable a and b? Have you studied in mathematics? A into b plus a into c is equal to, since a is common in both the terms, I can move a outside. So a multiplied with b plus c. Am I right? Have you studied this property in mathematics? Tell me yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the same property I'm going to use here. Okay. So in place of A, I have x of t. In place of B, I have h1 of t. In place of C, I have h2 of t. Okay. So if the systems are connected in parallel, it obeys a property called distributive property. So according to that property, I can write x of t convolution with h1 of t plus x of t convolution with h2 of t, which is equal to x of t convolution with the sum of two impulse responses. That's it. And this distributive property I have written for a continuous time signal. I have to write the same thing for the discrete time signal also. So you know what changes you have to do. So discrete time system, x of n convolution with h1 of n plus x of n convolution with h2 of n, which is equal to x of n convolution with sum of the impulse responses h1 of n plus h2 of n. So with this, the system interconnection for parallel type of connection we have successfully discussed. And I said, compared to series connection, parallel connection equations and the analysis is very easy. Okay, so and the parallel connection systems follow the property called distributive property. And in all the earlier classes, we are talking the word convolution, convolution, convolution. So sometimes in the exam they may ask you to define convolution also. I think many of you know the convolution, so how to define it. But when it is asked in the exam, you may feel that you are unaware of the definition. So for that case, I will be just giving you the definition of convolution. So convolution in general, what we can say is uh, y of n is equal to a simple formula is x of n convolution with h of n. So convolution, I can say convolution is a mathematical operation. Okay, convolution is a mathematical operation which involves three signals. You have to write like this, which involves three signals. One is input signal x of n, and another one is the impulse response h of n, and finally the output signal y of n. So convolution in general, you can define it as it is a mathematical operation which involves three signals: input signal, output signal, and the impulse response signal. So now, in continuation of the definition, we can write it performs the mathematical operation on x of n and h of n, and it produces the output y of n. So it performs mathematical operation on x of n and h of n such that it produces the new output y of n. So this is a simple way of defining convolution. Okay. So preferably we define the convolution in terms of the summation formula. Okay. So summation formula. The other way of defining convolution is convolution. The convolution is defined as it is the sum of weighted sum of. So we have used all these words when we started the derivation of convolution in the previous module. So it is a weighted sum of. You know what is the meaning of weighted sum of? So it is a weighted sum of the product of what x of n with the time shifted version of h of n. I hope you are getting it. So in this way, you have to define the convolution. And even when you go to the next semester, fifth semester, you have the subject called DSP. So DSP is nothing but it is an advanced version of signals and systems. So without this convolution, you cannot complete signals and systems subject, and you cannot even complete DSP subject. So using the formula, summation formula, the definition of convolution is the convolution is defined as the weighted sum of the product of the input signal and the shifted version of the impulse response. So with this definition, I will move on to cascade connection. See, instead of using the word series connection, we use the word cascade connection of systems. So cascade connection of systems, it is a bit uh, lengthy compared to the parallel connection. So we have lot many steps in the equation to finally attain the output equation. So you can see in the screen, I have two LTI system. One is having the impulse response H1 of t. The other one is having the impulse response H2 of t. Okay. So now I want you to write this derivation in this topic in rough notebook, because if you just see the screen, if you just listen the lecture, you will not get the flow. So please do this equations in the rough book. Later, I will forward the notes to you. You can update it using the notes. So now I have two systems here. Ultimately, the main input is x of t and the main output is y of t. Since I have in between, I have some interconnection, I can use some variable to represent the output. So as per that, what I can do is I can take I can split the diagram like this. So I will just split the diagram like this. This is one part of the system. If I split it like this, x of t is the input which is given to the system having an impulse response h1 of t. So there will be a convolution process happen between x of t and h1 of t. It produces the output z of t. So now this Z of t is acting as an input for the next system H2 of t, and now the convolution happens between this Z of t and H2 of t such that it produces the output Y of t. Okay. You remember this Z of t is equal to this. I am going to do it. It is written in the next page in the screen. So I will start from this equation only to do the derivation. So Z of t is equal to x of t convolution with h1 of t. So this is one of the equation, and I want the output y of t. So y of t is equal to z of t convolution with, so Z of t convolution with H2 of t. I want everyone to write these two equations in your notebook. So from this equation only we are going to form number of equations, and we are going to conclude the topic cascade connection of two LTI systems. So these two equations I will later ask you, you have to tell me. So now as I said, parallel connection means the impulse responses will be added. Now I have to tell the same concept here. If the systems are connected in series, then how the relationship is between H1 and H2. The relationship is like that. So it is a convolution operation between H1 and H2. So if two systems are in cascade, then I cannot add like how I have done in the parallel connection. I have to perform the convolution operation h1 of t with h2 of t. So the main input is x of t, and I am passing it to the system. This system is having the impulse responses which are the convolutions. So convolution of h1 with h2. Finally, it produces the output y of t. And one more thing here is, see, always series connection, the order can be in any way. So, you know, A into B, in general, I am talking about A into B will be equal to C. Similarly, B into A is also equal to C. So what I am trying to convey here is the systems can be connected in any order. See, in the first diagram, it is connected H1 and H2. The third diagram, if you see, it is connected in the other order, H2 with H1. So the order of the arrangement is not matter. Ultimately, both the orders will give me the same output. Okay. So you should know all these things. Um, So the diagram C, if you see, it is an equivalent system, and even diagram B is also an equivalent system. So I have drawn an equivalent system for the first setup. So this equivalent system, what has is it is having interchange of the system order, interchange of the system order. So H1 and H2 is just interchanged here. So, but ultimately the answer will be the same. Okay. So now I'm going to start the derivation. You have to attempt carefully because you may get confused. So now Do you remember I have told in the earlier block diagram topic, I have told y of t is equal to z of t convolution with h2 of t. Do you have this with you in your notes? Shall we start from here? Yes. I'm
Yes,
writing,
ma'am.
I'm writing the main output. Main output. I'm starting from the main output. Even for the parallel connection also, I have started from the right hand side and then I have moved it towards the left hand side because output should be taken first. That should be written in terms of the input. So that's why I'm taking output equation y of t first. My y of t is equal to, very well, we have seen with respect to the block diagram, it is z of t convolution with h2 of t. So this you can take it as equation 1. Okay, and since it is a continuous time signal, I can apply the formula of convolution. You know what is the formula of convolution? It is integral minus infinity to plus infinity z of tau h2 of t minus tau beta. Okay, so and I want you to just listen these things because later we will analyze with respect to different variables. Listen, if your input is having t domain, then the equation how it is written using convolution formula. So I am using the third variable is tau and h of t minus tau. This t is nothing but the variable which is taken from the input. All the inputs are having t. So t minus the new variable which we have taken tau, and even this differentiation is also with respect to the new variable tau. So I am writing the t in only two places in the formula, in the output side and in H2 term I am writing t. That's it. So I want you to just remember this because I'm going to use the analogy. I'm going to compare this with the new variable and I'm going to form the equation. So now I know very well as per the diagram, I know that z of t is equal to. Can anybody tell me as per the block diagram what is z of t from the block diagram? Z of t is equal to. I told you to just
X of t convolution of h1 of
very
t.
good, very good. H of t, x of t convolution of h1 of t. Okay, h1 of t. So now the same thing I have written here. Okay, the same thing I have written here, but instead of the time domain, I'm using tau as the domain. Why I am using tau? Because only my main output should have t as the variable. Okay, so in order to avoid the complexity of using the same variable, I'm going to use C. I know in general z of t is equal to x of t convolution with h1 of t as per the diagram. Just to avoid the confusion because my main output only should have y of t. So I am modifying my equation of z of t here as using new variable. I'm using tau as the variable. So this tau is not related to the convolution. I am just simply replacing t with tau. Just to make differentiation between the main output y of t with the intermediate output. I can take z of t as an intermediate output. So intermediate output t should be replaced with the new variable tau just for the our convenience. Okay. So if I write like that, is this equation is fine? Z of tau is equal to x of tau with convolution with h1 of tau. I hope you are understanding it. So now I have to replace this equation using the formula. So if I replace it, I have told you. So this whatever is there in the question that will be there in only two places. Sorry, I just that will be there in only two places. So h1 of tau and in my output I will be getting tau. In all other places I have to use a new variable. So the new variable what I am using is this is gamma. What is the name you call for this? You call it as, can anyone? How will you call this variable? Have you come across in your other subjects? Just reply, no? Anyone? I could not hear you. Can you repeat again?
New, ma'am.
New. Okay. Uh, New. Fine. So I hope you are getting it. So I'm using the third variable, right? Third variable mu. So x of mu h1 of, so tau minus mu into d mu. I hope you are getting it. So I'm just going to again highlight it. So I'm just going to give the comparison between the previous equation and this equation. See, if input is having t, where and all the t is reflected, you can see here. Only in this position and only in this position. And all other positions, the new variable will be reflected. Similarly, here my original variable is tau. So that tau, I have to put it in only two places. So one is this place and other one is at the left hand side. So other than this, I have to, in the remaining places, I have to use a new variable. The new variable is this mu. Have any doubts in this? Any confusion in this? Shall we proceed?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. So now what is my ultimate aim? My ultimate aim is, so let me keep the integration equation as equation 2. Okay. Integration equation is equation 2 and the z of tau integration equation is equation 3. So I am going to use the integration equation of y of t. I have one more equation earlier to this equation 2 that was with the convolution symbol. I don't want that. I want the integration equation, that is equation 2, and one more integration equation z of tau as equation 3. So now can anybody analyze and tell me, my aim is to get my output y of t. So which equation I have to substitute in which equation? Can anyone?
Z of t in y of t.
Z of tau in y of t,
Tau
right?
in y of t.
So you are substituting, I want everyone to write in your notebook, substituting equation 3 in equation 2. So once you substitute equation 3 in equation 2, can you just see whether the equation what I have written is correct? So I have my main integration in equation 2, so integration minus infinity to plus infinity. And in position of z of tau, I know I have such a big term. So this big term is integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of mu h1 of tau minus mu. So tau minus this d mu, I will put it at the last because I have still more terms. So as per the equation, I have h2 of t minus tau and d mu and d tau. Any doubts in this or any confusions in this? Shall we proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sanjay, is there any delay in the voice? Because you people are answering a bit late. Is there any delay or
No, ma'am.
no? There is no delay. Okay, fine. So now listen, everyone. See, we are using since new variables here in cascade connection. That's why I said this cascade connection is bit tougher or a bit lengthy than the parallel connection. Parallel connection, we have not faced this many equations and this much confusions. Okay, now listen. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one more new variable called eta. So eta, to which term I'm going to substitute is I have h1 of tau minus mu. So why I am modifying this tau minus mu? Because in general, my y of t, I will write it as integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau into h of t minus tau. So if I have t minus tau term in the formula, I should not disturb that. I hope you are getting it. So when I see two h values, my h1 is having new variable inside the bracket and my h2 is having the conventional variable as per the convolution formula. So I will not disturb this h2 of t minus tau. So which one I will disturb is I will disturb this tau minus mu, that I am going to replace it with the new variable eta. Okay. So with this, I will stop now because the meeting it is showing less than 1 minute. So once we connect back, we will just continue the discussion of the cascade connection of LTI system. So here we are discussing with respect to